What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. Well, it's a big one coming up at Aqueduct. We're going to run the Wood Memorial coming up this weekend, Saturday, April 5th. Let's put it up on the screen for you. Field of 12, race 12 on the card here. Like I said, Wood Memorial going a mile and an eighth, $750,000. The purse in this one. This is an interesting group. I do not think we have a world beater in this race, but I do think we have a couple horses that could be legitimate contenders. I would imagine when the fields are drawn for all the preps, this one will be the one we kind of look at and go, maybe the weakest one. But I do think it's super interesting, and I think it's sneaky. So let's go through them 1 through 12. I think we have a lot of horses in here that it's like, man, they're just kind of on the cusp. It's like, give me one good race, and maybe we can actually try to, whether use them in a pick 5 or put them on the bottom of an exacta or try something like that. I really think there's some talent in here. It's just, can they kind of take that next step that's needed? So let's look at it. Go one by one. Like I said, field of 12. Number 1 is Rodriguez. He ships in from Santa Anita for Bob Baffert, and him winning this race would be, in my opinion, a slap in the face to the kind of the local horses that have been running at Aqueduct, because, if a horse comes in that's been beaten, pretty badly by Journalism, Barnes, Citizen Bull, really wasn't competitive in the Robert B. Lewis and San Felipe, if he can ship in and win the big race in New York, it wouldn't be great. This is not a Barnes, shipping in, or a Citizen Bull shipping in. Even a Matticat Road in that regard, shipping in my opinion. Rodriguez has kind of been all over the place. Now, as I say all that, he does have a couple of races that kind of make me go, he does have a chance, because the race where he broke his maiden at Santa Anita was actually very good. He beat a horse named Baeza, who's a pretty darn good horse in his own right. Now, Baeza kind of hadn't got it figured out just yet. When he ran there at Santa Anita in that maiden special weight in January. But, it's still a nice win. He did come back to run second, talking about Rodriguez now, second, beating 3 3/4 to Citizen Bull in the Robert B. Lewis on a race where he was just he ran sporadically, let's say. And he was worse in the San Felipe, obviously third, beating 11 1/4, never in it. But he was just a couple of weird races. I'm not really sure what they've tried to do with this horse the last 2 races. In his second start, stretching out for the first time, they put him on the lead and he cruised. He didn't get the lead in the next 2 races, and I felt like he could have. And they weren't really like blazing paces. They were slower paces than what he set when he won his maiden. He draws the rail here. To me, you just send him and hope he can hold on. He's interesting. I don't like, nothing against Mike Smith, but I thought maybe a different jockey might be signed on to ride him here. But I think you just send and hope. I'm not going to play him to win, but I would not be shocked if he does. I don't know. He's just a weird horse. He needs to put it all together mentally. I think that's going to be the big thing for Rodriguez, but he's working out well. So we'll see if he can come up here and kind of steal the Wood Memorial. Number 2 is Captain Cook. And last time out, he was able to win at this distance in the Withers Stakes. Of course, skipped the Gotham and waited for another mile and an eighth race, and here it is for him. So Captain Cook, look, he's pretty darn good. He was 2 races back. I'm trying to say he was a 9 1/4 length winner. He just absolutely dusted that field. And then last time out, stretched out and did it really easily. Like I said, in the Withers Stakes, a very easy victory for him. And, look, I don't know what was in it. It hasn't looked that good since there, but I just kind of think this is a horse that's got some upside. And I think there's still more in the tank for this horse. He was very good at a mile and an eighth, like we're talking about. He is a horse that really isn't bred to go a mile and an eighth, but since we've seen it already and we saw him win pretty easily and we saw him do it kind of, in a fashion that thinks, well, I don't think that was luck. He didn't go gate to wire or anything like that. He stalked the pace and went and got him. So tougher field today, but I do think he can get the distance, even though he's not bred for it, because he's already done it once. So Captain Cook looks dangerous to me. The number 3 is Tiger 24. This horse coming off a maiden special weight victory at Gulfstream Park last time out by 5 lengths. Took 3 starts to break the maiden, but he did get it done. That race was a 1-turn mile. Now we're stretching out to 2 turns, to the mile and an eighth. He has went 2 turns before, 2 races back at Gulfstream, going a mile and a 16th. He was second, beaten 2.5. I don't love him for this race, but I do think he is, slowly improving each race. Could he hit the board, something like that? Yeah, possibly, but not for this race for me. Tiger 24, maybe one to kind of keep an eye on down the road. The number 4, My Matoli. This horse is coming off a fourth place effort in the Gotham. Of course, with the name My Matoli, you would think the horse is by Matoli, and he certainly is. And really, nothing says this horse is going to like a mile and an eighth. And he also just kind of looks like to be a little outclassed, in this spot. He kind of got it going a little bit, broke the maiden 3 back, won a starter allowance 2 back, but like I said, went to the Gotham, just didn't do much running there. Hard to support him in this one. I don't think the stretch out's going to be something he likes. The number 5 is Sand Devil. He was second in the Gotham, beaten 3 1/4. He ran all right in that race. Nothing flashy, but he ran okay. That was after 3 straight New York bred stakes or race victories, I should say. He won a maiden allowance and a stakes. Decent spot here. I don't really think a mile and an eighth is going to be his thing. So I can't support him in here to win, but I could see him, maybe he gets third or fourth. I think he's got class. I'm not sure the mile and an eighth is going to be where he likes, or where he looks his absolute best. I think a little bit shorter, the better for him. The number 6 is Hill Road. Interesting horse here. Back-to-back third place efforts since coming to the United States and moving to the dirt. 2 races back at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile at 61-1. He was third in that race. And then last time out in the Tampa Bay Derby, this horse went off as the 9-2. I think he's like third. He may have been fourth choice, actually. Same kind of race. Dropped to the back and finished third, beaten 6 1/4. Chad Brown was saying he was a couple of workouts short, and if you kind of look at the work pattern, he looks to have really picked it up the last couple of efforts for Chad. So I think he's in here with a big shot. Can he get all the way up and win a race, or is he a horse that's just going to pass tired horses and hit the board? I think that's the big kind of debate question, however you want to phrase that. But for me, I think he's pretty interesting in this spot. I think we're going to see his best effort here. I like this racetrack for his running style. I think this is a good spot. I'm glad that he's here instead of Keeneland. I'm not sure that would have suited him well. And yet, look, I know a horse like Sierra Leone won at Keeneland last year, but usually on the lead is better up at Keeneland. So I kind of like this spot here. I think they made a smart decision bringing Hill Road to the Wood, and I think maybe a little bit easier of a field as well. All right, let's keep going. The number 7 is Grande. This horse is making just his third start in the Wood Memorial. Broke the maiden on January 11th and then had a nice allowance victory going this distance at Gulfstream Park last time out. Look, Pletcher needs a Derby horse. He doesn't have anything right now. Maybe Grande could be that one trying to jump on the trail here. Horse by Curlin out of a Warfront mare. So should be fine going the distance. It's just going to be a matter of, is he good enough? I think the answer is yes. He's pretty sharp looking horse to me. I think he comes in with a big shot here. I think Pletcher has got this one spotted pretty well. I think this is a really good spot for him. And like said, with Pletcher, he's behind the 8 ball right now. We may have a Todd Pletcher-less Derby unless Grande or River Thames can kind of come through in their respective races this weekend. So Grande coming in here needing a victory. Pretty good spot for him. I think he's in with a big shot. The number 8 is Passion Rules. This horse has won 3 races in a row, albeit against kind of lesser competition until last time out. He won an allowance at Oaklawn Park. Those are hard races to win. So he's earned his right to be here. The speed figures are pretty light compared to the rest of this group. That's the problem. So I'm cautiously optimistic this horse can come up here and run a decent enough race, but I just don't think this horse can get all the way up and get the job done. So I'm going to pass on him here, but it would be frustrating if he goes 4 for 4 and wins here and maybe elevates his game. But I just think the speed figure is just a little bit light for me. It's not all in on me when it comes to speed figures, but when there's several points behind, I do kind of get worried. And we could say that about the number 9 Bear Claw Necklace as well. A horse that has lost 2 of his 3 starts. He did break the maiden 2 back at Gulfstream. He was third, beaten 8 in an allowance race last time out. That was the race Prater was in. So you do kind of look at it and go, okay, Prater was pretty darn good that day. But Bear Claw Necklace, not for me in this spot. This would be a big-time upset if he got the job done. We'll go to the number 10, McAfee. He's up here next. McAfee, I should say. He's up here next. And look, this is a horse that did no running in the Gotham. he's kind of he's been scratched out of a few races. I kind of wonder if they haven't been able to keep this horse real healthy. Stretch out in distance here. I don't think that's gonna hurt him. But he's just not for me until he proves it a little bit more. So yeah, nothing for me from the 10 McAfee. Number 11 Statesman. This horse has gotten hot at Tampa recently. Broke the maiden 2 races back and then won an allowance last time out. His problem is kind of the same as Passion Rules. These numbers are pretty low, some of the lowest in the field, but he seems to be developing. I think 1.125 miles will be pretty darn good for him. I'll hit him right where he needs it, but he's another one. I just kind of wait and see. I look at him and Passion Rules kind of the same way. Let's just kind of wait and see if they can elevate their game here. There's enough in here where I don't feel like I need to take a shot with one that I think might improve by a big margin, because I think some of these other ones just might be a little more advanced at this stage in the game. So I took a pass on the number 11 Statesman. And then number 12, Omaha Omaha. He's tried and tried and tried. He's hit the board in a few. The Virginia Derby, he hit the board. The Withers, he hit the board. You know, also the Jerome. So he's kind of been that horse that's ran up and got a piece of things. The problem is he's never really threatened in any of those 3 Kentucky Derby prep races. I kind of feel like he could do the exact same thing in this one. I think we know he's going to run, but it's just, you know, for example, like when we look at, let's just say Sandman, who won, he was hitting the board in races, and you kind of, at the end, you looked at it and go, well, he's kind of costing himself. I'm not sure. And I was one of those, I'm skeptical he'll ever really put it together in these series of races, but you know, you could tell the talent's there, right? And then he was able to do it. You know, this horse, it's like, I don't know that the talent level is really there. I think he's solid. You know, he's one you'd love to own because he's very consistent, but I just don't know that he's got it in him to win a race like this. Where Sandman, it's like, yeah, if he puts it all together, I could see where it could happen. Here, I'm just not sure. That's kind of the difference when I look at a horse like Omaha. I'm just not sure he's got it in him. So that is the field of 12. Like I said, this is a really, really interesting race. There's a lot of different ways you can kind of look at this or go. I'm going to go number 2, Captain Cook, on top in this one. I really debated. I thought about Rodriguez, but he's just been a little bit too erratic for me. Hill Road was a horse I think's going to run better, and if he wins, and I bet Captain Cook, that would make me a little bit, you know, kind of like, why did I do it? Because I think Hill Road is going to improve. Grande, I think he's there with a chance. It may be a little too much too soon. He's not overly flashy, but I think he's in with a chance as well. But I just kept watching the Withers back of Captain Cook. And let's face it, 1.125 Withers and 1.125 miles Wood, you're kind of going to look for the same type of thing. And I just feel like that race that he ran in the Withers, if he can repeat it, that might be good enough here to get the job done. So I'm going to go number 2, Captain Cook, to win this year's version of the Wood Memorial. All right, guys, that'll do it for a preview of the Wood Memorial. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Aqueduct on Saturday.